we go. Welcome, 2K fans, to a special video today. As always, I'm Pete Toll, aka PT Sports 84. With me today is Mohamad, who is the proud owner of 2K Wiz. It's an ever informative NBA player finder with player attribute filtering, sorting, and multiple search features for NBA 2K25. Mohamad, how you doing today, man? Glad to have you.
Hey Pete, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your channel. Been following you for a while. Really like your content. Keep killing it. I'm doing well, thank you. Happy to be
Great. Well, Mohamad, I'm going to kind of let you take over the video. I want you to just highlight everything that 2K Wiz has to offer for everybody. For those out there that are just, hearing about 2K Wiz for the first time, I'll share my personal experience really quick. As everybody knows who's watching this channel, I'm a roster editor at heart, have been for years. 2K Wiz has made it so much easier for me. I can look at the default ratings and then make my own adjustments in real time. It's basically like a big spreadsheet. It makes it so much cleaner and easier than looking at 2K, then having to look back at your monitor and doing all those things. But Mohamad, tell us about all the features that 2K Wiz has to offer.
Yes, perfect. So basically, I'm just going to give a bit of background about 2K Wiz and how I came up with the idea. I think it would be interesting for people to know about it. And after 3.2 million views on Twitter, I think it would be nice to give a bit of backstory about it because it seems that it garnered a lot of interest, of people's interest. So basically, I'm a diehard Pistons fan, been so for years. We've suffered. This season was absolutely atrocious. And Cade Cunningham being our cornerstone and being the only player that I see fit as like remaining on the team, I started thinking, okay, so what archetype of players are we in need to pair with Cade Cunningham? So I started thinking, okay, we are in desperate need of a stretch four who's at least 6'6", who can shoot the ball, who can defend a bit. So I started seeing that I was periodically turning on my Xbox and going to NBA 2K24 at the time to the player finder and started to search from there to find the player of interest. So I was like, nah, that's not going to work out. It's not practical. I cannot, every time I need to search for something, like turn on the Xbox and so on. It's like, why don't I develop a tool that does so? So basically, I developed 2K Wiz, which you talked about. I'm now going to share my screen to basically show people and users a bit more about it. Okay, let me know if you see the screen.
Yep,
I
you're
think
good.
so. Yeah, perfect. So this is 2K Wiz. You can access it by basically going to the browser, writing 2kwiz.app or www.2kwiz.app. So basically, you have the filter section, which we will see with details in a bit. Then you have here, I like to call them the team types. You have current players, which are the current NBA players. Here, I'm going to show the advanced attributes, which we will see in a bit. Then you have the classic team type, all-time team types, so all-time teams, and the WNBA. So these three team types were added recently. And yeah, so basically here you have the list of players with all of their attributes. You can scroll down. You have the first 50. The default sorting is by overall rating. So here, if you hover, you can see basically the description of each column. And here you can like go around in the table and go to the end to see who's like, let's say at the bottom in terms of overall rating, and then go at the beginning again. And then at the bottom, you have the disclaimer section where you have the Twitter account in case you want to click and follow us there. So basically, now I'm going to show you how using 2K Wiz, you can basically find the player that you're searching for. So at the time, I wanted to search for a stretch four, as I mentioned. So here you can filter by name, not of our interest for now. Team, basically, we have also free agency included at the end. Position, which is what we're interested in now. So I'm going to click on power forward. You can search by archetype, filter by archetype. There are many, many options here. Nationality, which we're not interested about now. Hometown, prior to the NBA, which we're going to see in a bit. And min height, which I'm going to use now. I want the power forward, which is at least 6'6". Okay, I don't want to cap the height. I want him to be a veteran. Okay, so minimum 6 years, maximum 15 years in the NBA, minimum 27 of age, maximum 33. Okay, here is the overall section. We don't care. We want him to be able to shoot the three, so minimum 3-point shot of 75. a passable defender, so minimum defending of 55. Here, there are more detailed attributes: interior defense, perimeter defense, block steals, and so on. And since we had a lot of injuries, I want him to be durable. I want a player that can play games. So I'm going to set this at 75. Okay. And I think that's it for me. There are other attributes here you can filter, such as playmaking, rebounding, and so on. But for now, we're just going to settle with what we have here. So I'm going to click on search. Okay. And basically here, now we have the list of power forwards with all of these 9 applied filters. Okay. So basically, we ended up getting one of these, which is Tobias Harris. So now here you have the list of all of the players, which exactly match what you searched for. You can even here see, okay, who's the best three-point shooter between all of these. So here, if you click once, you get the worst. So here, Chris Boucher is the worst out of all of these. If you click again, you have the green arrow. So it's sorted descending. So Cat is the best three-point shooter out of all of these. So here you can have an idea about, okay, is this player a fit for my team? Maybe if I was a GM, let's say I have the GM hat on, I would probably opt for Lauri Markkanen. He shoots the three. He's good around the basket. He has the mid-range and so on. So it's basically a fun way to search for a player of interest, either if you're playing the game, 2K, like you're playing my NBA and you want to trade for a player, you can search for them here, or for a more realistic scenario like the one the one I mentioned at the beginning, to find a player basically of your interest. And here you have the information section. So if you click here, you see the player information in details, so hometown, nationality, archetype, season salary, and so on. And yeah, so this, you can use this basically to like compare players. I have basically an idea to create a player comparison feature in the future. If anyone has any suggestions for some features that they think are interesting, they can include them in the comments. Would be very happy to know if you have something maybe I haven't thought about. And here you can go back. Maybe you don't want to consider anymore the years in the NBA. So I clear min, it clears max by automatically. I click search. Now it applies everything except for the min years, and I can clear everything and go back to point 0 as before. And here I can restore the sorting as it was, which is by default overall. And now we're going to see the classic all-time WNBA team types real quick. So basically, here, if I click on classic, I'm getting all of the classic NBA players available in the game. Of course, you see duplicates because this is like Michael Jordan. This is the 92 Michael Jordan, while here this is the 95 Michael Jordan, and so on. Since I did my research and I came to know that Pete is an avid Blue Devil, so let's see who was who played at Duke. So here, this is very interesting for players who are passionate about the NCAA. So here you can see that classic teams, there are 13 Blue Devils. Basically, we have Kyrie, Boozer, Dang, and so on. And of course, filters that are common between one team type and another are conserved if you move to another team type. So let's say prior to NBA is included in all-time as a filter. So here, if I move, it automatically does the search. So it shows you the Duke Blue Devils and the all-time teams. So here we can see all the all-time. Oh, Paolo is already an all-time Orlando Magic. That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, they added him this year to take the place of Steve Francis. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That kid has a bright future, in my opinion. Yeah. So, yeah. And also, if you click on WNBA, you can see that there's Chelsea Gray, Elizabeth Williams, and Lexi Brown.
Nice.
So yeah, so you can go back. Of course, here, if you notice, there are some filters that are, let's say, apparent here that are missing in classic, like hometown and some other stuff. These are basically not like 2K didn't include them in their data for classic players. So if you choose in the current players, let's say a hometown, let's say I choose here, this is like a disclaimer so that people don't think that there's a bug or something. I wrote it here as well. So here, let's search for NBA players from Chicago. We have Anthony Davis, Pat Bev, and so on. If I click on classic, it clears it because it doesn't exist, and it doesn't apply the filter, so you see everything. So that's just an important thing to mention. And yeah, that's about it basically. So it's a very fun tool to use in case you want to search for players for personal reasons, or something related to 2K where you just want to find a player to trade for. And that's about it.
What I like to do for myself is, especially for the current teams, I go by team and then match up. Like I said before at the beginning of the video, I match up, say, Zachary Ricochet. I look at his numbers and I'm like, okay, 2K has him here. Like, it's easy to find because, like, how you have it with the advanced attributes tab selected, you can kind of see everything across. And I'm like, okay, this is better than having to scroll through the game. It makes it a lot quicker for any kind of edits for me personally, because I'm like, I think he might, do this versus this, and it allows that adjustment. Now, I do want to ask, and I know the answer to this, but I want to ask it for anybody watching. Once there's a 2K ratings update, is the app updated?
Yes, very good question. So basically, when there's a 2K ratings update, I manually do the update. So I try to be as quick as possible. Sometimes it might take a bit of time because sometimes 2K messes up some data, so I have to manually patch the data, do my validation, and then publish it. But yes, it's almost instantaneous. So whenever I come to know that there's an official 2K ratings update, I immediately update it and post it on Twitter. That's why I was telling your viewers, if they follow the page on Twitter by clicking here, you can basically see it. You click follow. I always publish the updates. As you can see here, we have 3.2 million views. So keep them coming. Would really appreciate it.
Great. And then same goes for any players added and things like that. All of their data will be in and things like that. So for anybody out there that is a roster editor or just basically just wants to kind of play so-called GM for themselves, they can say, okay, well, what do we need as far as a talking point for a podcast? They could say, well, if we're looking for shooters, what kind of availability do we have? This is a great way, not just for 2K, but just for NBA fans alike, to kind of sort and find what they're looking for. That's the beauty of having a player finder overall. It's not just tailored to 2K. Yes, it has 2K ratings and a basis, but it's a great informative tool for basketball fans at heart. So, Mohamad, anything to close out that you have that you want to highlight? Anything else you want to talk about besides, what we've talked about already?
No, to be honest, I think we said everything. I just want to mention an important thing, that at the end of the day, all of this data belongs to 2K, and I mentioned it here. So I'm not affiliated with 2K Sports 2K, like in any way. It's just let's say it was a personal project I did to display publicly available information already in an easy way. And yeah, that's about it. Not much. If you guys have some suggestions, some new features you would like to see added, feel free to mention them in the comments or like DM me on Twitter.
Great. So make sure, everybody, if you didn't hear that already, make sure you're going to Twitter/X, follow 2K Wiz there. Also, make sure you like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. I will check back in, basically in the comments. Make sure to highlight what everybody is saying about 2K Wiz. If there's any questions, Mohamad, I can get those to you. Obviously, you could look as well.
Yeah, sure.
But I'd be happy to send them over. This was great. I'm very happy to have you on here. Glad you were able to share the platform. Hope everybody out there will find this useful. Also, let me know in the comments if you've used it, what you found it useful for. I'm just curious. Again, please hit the thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to everyone next time.